All right, hey guys. So I haven't started my practicum yet. So this uh, client I'm going to be introducing to you guys today is actually one of my students that I have taught and mentored at Fusion Academy. So uh, we'll call him Matt Schmidt. Matt is a 16-year-old cisgendered male Caucasian. Um, He is currently residing at home with both his parents and his older sister by 1 year. Both grandparents, maternal and paternal, are still living and involved with the family. I have worked with Matt as well as both of his parents individually, and hearing all three of their testimonies about their experience, they have all shared that they feel that their relationship is very strong. It's healthy, stable, harmonious, and secure. And I think most importantly, Matt shares that. So Matt really gets along well with his parents. Um, so a little bit more about Matt. Matt began having some issues in school beginning at first grade that were primarily physical symptoms, headaches, cold sweats, stomach aches, physical pains, falling asleep. So I believe that a lot of his um, symptoms began in the body. And in eighth grade, that was initially the reason why his parents sought psychiatric treatment. Matt was just unable to attend school. What his psychiatrist said has been anxiety. I do believe that to be true, but I also believe that it really is some intense physical pain. So Matt was hospitalized and diagnosed with depression and ADHD at the end of eighth grade. And then prior to, or say, following his hospitalization, which was just under a month, he was in an outpatient program for 2 months. And following the outpatient program, he did not return to the public school system, but instead enrolled at Fusion Academy, which is a private school that is a one-to-one based curriculum with a focus on loving the students where they're at, and the teachers are trained to create lesson plans that are designed and tailored to the students' unique learning style, and as well to make room for their need to feel safe and secure as the primary focus as a teacher. So if the student comes in, with some stuff going on, we want to address that first. And this learning environment has seemed to work really well for Matt. Moving on to his strengths, Matt has an immense amount of strengths. He has, despite his struggles socially and emotionally in school, he has excelled academically. He has been a straight A student since he began school. He reports that his strong suits are math and science, and not such a strong liking for history and English. I want to point out here that I do teach Matt yoga, meditation, and psychology, and that especially for our yoga and meditation course, a lot of the homework will be either reading materials or a TED Talk or a lecture, and then an opportunity to write a reflection. And that very loosely structured paper assignment has seemed to work really well for Matt. He displays strong writing skills, excellent grammar and vocabulary, and an ability to clearly communicate his own response to the material presented. So Matt has a very strong sense of what he does not like and what he does like. He already has decided on a major for college. He's a sophomore right now in high school, but is very clear that he wants to major in computer science. While Matt does have a difficult time socially in school, he has made a lot of friends at Fusion in smaller groups, and a lot of friends that he tends to hang out with one-to-one. Matt also feels a little more comfortable when his contributions to the whole are acknowledged. So one of the things that has Matt has been really helpful with around the campus is in kind of consulting with and supporting the teachers and the students learning how to electronically scan in their homework. It's been a big learning curve for a lot of us, and Matt has been more than helpful in guiding us and supporting us. So he has a very strong skill set in that area, and also has a passion for it. So he has built computers in the time I've known him. He has worked on creating his own apps, and really thinks outside the box. He's very creative when he has the time and space to do that. What has worked well for Matt in our yoga and meditation course is some somatic or body-centered mindfulness and meditation techniques. So I have observed a lot of success, as well as heard from his reports a lot of success in applying yoga nidra and other body-centered meditations, body scans, and as well as just some relaxation techniques, breathing techniques, and also incorporating some sensual kind of grounding using essential oils. He really likes Florida water, which I wouldn't normally use with a student, but he really, really likes it. He says it makes him automatically feel different. So I think that, even if I don't have time to work with the body in any ways, in the beginning of class, when we're working in our psychology course, that's a little more academic, that we always take time to at least make some noise, move a little bit, and for him to either smell or listen to a song that's grounding for him and soothing for him. So I think that those are really beneficial tools to incorporate in his treatment plan. And in speaking about his treatment plan, if Matt were a client I was working with, I think that something that would be a primary focus, something that I would want to address first and foremost, would be developing some skills or tools that Matt feels really comfortable using on his own to cope with some of the intense dissociation he's experiencing, long periods of time where he is completely in a trance. At school, he will almost fall asleep with his eyes open, and I've gone up to him and other instructors and students without any success of awakening him from this trance. And what does seem to work is calling in his mom. So Many teachers believe that this is, and his psychologists believe that this has to do with his attempt to find attention or to get some attention. And I look at it a little bit differently. Yes, I do believe that it is his attempt to find or to create some, to get some attention. But I try to consider, what were the conditions or the situations that taught him on some level that this was the way that he needed to get attention. And in taking into consideration what Matt has shared about what makes a good teacher and the success that we've seen him make in Fusion, I think a couple things that would be helpful for him in the future is more psychoeducation and perhaps being exposed to a more diverse population, whether it be in a group therapy setting or a small group therapy setting, in another community. As I said, the community that he lives in right now and the surrounding communities are extremely monochromatic, predominantly all white, upper middle class to upper class. So that is an environment where Matt has shared he does not feel comfortable, and he feels like something's wrong with him when he is put up against the peers that seem to do really well in a traditional school system and that just seem to take to the mainstream culture very well. Matt doesn't. So I think that exposing him to a culture and others that might mirror some of his goodness, some of his strengths, would be really helpful in Matt continuing to individuate himself, which was one of his goals, was to find a more authentic sense of self and to individuate. So I think that would be very helpful. I'm also thinking about perhaps some kind of wilderness program. I think I shared in the next video that Matt really does well with animals and nature. So you can look for that in the second video.